Ricky Nelson amassed a fortune as the nation's darling, yet he couldn't afford cinema admission. His dad managed every cent. When Ricky pleaded for spending cash, he was instructed to gather empty bottles for refunds. Beneath the flawless family facade lurked a grimmer reality. Freshly uncovered agreements expose how his parents ensnared him in an arrangement that robbed his youth and wealth. But that's not the most shocking element. Fresh proof reveals what truly occurred in those last days prior to the aviation disaster. The facts will shatter all you assumed about the country's most renowned clan. He entered a role crafted by others. On May 8, 1940, Eric Hilliard Nelson arrived in Teaneck, New Jersey. But before he could toddle, his identity was already practiced via broadcasts and embedded in production deals. His father, Ozzie Nelson, had navigated the swing music scene with a conductor's wand in one grip and a dream in the other. His mother, Harriet Hilliard, had performed on variety circuits and beamed in movie shorts long before Ricky could walk. Their celebrity wasn't fleeting. It infiltrated American homes weekly, and by October 1944, the adventures of Ozzie and Harriet had transformed their household into the nation's inaugural comedy series dynasty. The home Ricky matured in didn't resound with fairy tales or playground bruises. It throbbed with practices, illumination tests, and pages scribbled in ink. Even prior to kindergarten, Harriet coached him on regulating his respiration amid lyrics. She withheld formal education until certain he could hold a tune without faltering. Ricky didn't choose stardom. He was groomed like merchandise refined for a display case, molded by his mom's timetable and his dad's drive. By age 4, his moniker appeared on production schedules. At 8, he entered the recording studio to supplant the young performer portraying him on the clan's radio program. Nobody inquired if he felt prepared. That wasn't in the blueprint. He was a frail child, slender, reserved, with lungs that wheezed through darkness and complexion unsuited for spotlights. Asthma confined him to sheets more than playgrounds ever might. He wasn't outgoing or boisterous. He was deliberate in speech, watchful, observing existence from beyond barriers of set illuminations and parental directives. But in 1949, when Ricky and David at last embodied themselves on broadcasts, listeners missed the ailing youngster. They caught quips. They caught rhythm. They caught a young lad evolving into a talent, even though off-air, Ricky merely followed orders. In weeks, the program drew 20 million ears weekly. Ricky was 9 and earning $200 per installment. That's roughly $4,500 now, but none touched his palms. Ozzie hoarded the funds, every bit. Ricky received a stipend so meager it scarcely bought treats. While peers swapped sports memorabilia, Ricky's dad exchanged his boy's renown for decor and land, trips, and ventures. By 16, he had $500,000 to wait. His credit, over $5.7 million today, but access was denied. At 18, he surrendered 93% of earnings to levies. Once, merely to escort a date to films, he scavenged soda containers for coins. In 1952, the clan relocated to Tinseltown, and the audio series morphed into a video one. The on-screen parlor wasn't merely props, it echoed the actual. But for Ricky, TV meant heightened exposure. He ceased being a disembodied sound. He became a visage, a form, a celebrity, and he disliked it. He couldn't forge bonds, couldn't stroll solo, couldn't delay arrivals without his father intervening. No overnight stays, no gridiron matches, no proms sans approval. Ozzie declared, "The clan is your universe." And so it was. Ricky started concealing, not bodily. He couldn't, but inwardly. The grinning, ideal lad on screen seldom matched the one off stage. He wrestled nerves, frequently departing filming to regain composure. He'd fret before breaks. He'd ail before takes, endorsements, publications, adolescent crush captions. All seemed like disguises he couldn't remove. Pals later noted he lacked self-identity unless directed. By 1955, the series claimed Emmys, and Ricky's likeness adorned walls nationwide. The adventures of Ozzie and Harriet spanned 14 years, then a milestone with 435 segments. It chronicled Ricky from 8 to 20s. It dramatized initial romances, infatuations, and melodic discoveries. All appeared authentic since presented as such. But unfilmed, it differed. Ozzie didn't merely helm the program, he steered Ricky's existence. From learning to courtship to finances, all passed through another's outline, and Ricky had to nail his cues. When asthma surged, crew concealed inhalers off-shot. When fatigued post-12-hour days, Harriet stressed the clan's reputation priority. Red Skelton's maker once labeled him a peculiar youngster, but beneath the peculiarity lay weariness. Harriet conceded later Ricky's upbeat manner was frequently compelled. His ailments weren't halts, they were hurdles to navigate. He beamed for viewers and crumpled when lenses ceased, and funds streamed. In 1957-1958, Ricky pulled $5,000 weekly. Today, over $50,000 weekly. Yet none granted liberty. Ozzie spent on their upscale mansion, luxury vehicles, elite memberships. Ricky got $50 allowance. He once confessed personal purchases required consent or pilfered coins. Even in secondary school, Ricky rebelled subtly, via antics and truancy. He flunked literature to test reactions. He ditched lessons for loud tunes and covert gigs. He sought no chaos. He craved independence. In tunes, he discovered it. It was the sole realm his folks didn't dominate. When he cut personal tracks, it stemmed partly from interest and partly from need. He desired an unfiltered expression. When Ricky Nelson was merely 10, asthma struck severely, not transient. This persisted, betting him weeks while peers dashed, shouted, existed. But Ricky wasn't recuperating, he was drilling lines. Ozzie Nelson, his dad, deemed it priming for stardom. Ricky missed classes, celebrations, reality. But officially, he advanced. The program, The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, expanded, and Ricky's part swelled accordingly. Stardom and ailment merged. Sickness didn't halt labor, it integrated. The strain persisted. Over years, he viewed repose not as healing but duty. What began as asthma morphed larger. It defined his youth view. It signaled he wasn't ordinary. He was an asset. At 12, Ricky desired a bike. Nothing extravagant, just a sense breeze like peers. Ozzie and Harriet refused. Not for cost, not hazard, since it mismatched his persona. They avoided paparazzi capturing Ricky too commonplace. So as classmates cycled neighborhoods, Ricky trudged occasionally to lessons, occasionally to filming. That absent cycle scarred deeper than anticipated. It wasn't wheels, it was liberty, and each stride reinforced what he lacked. His existence wasn't his. His grin, attire, routine, all another's. The sentiment rooted profoundly. At 14, mockery began. Schoolmates dubbed him Screen Kid. Initially playful, but Ricky sensed the sting. He wasn't theirs. He straddled realms. One with glare and canned chuckles. The other with lockers and lunch taunts, belonging nowhere. Harriet attempted aid. She orchestrated set connections, converting faux kin to genuine. But affection was orchestrated, and Ricky recognized. The more efforts, the starker the void. Mockery endured, and Ricky retreated. He preferred on-camera feigning over off-camera bonds. He wasn't maturing, he was constructed. By 16, Ricky Nelson accumulated over $500,000. In 2024 terms, about $5.7 million, but he didn't sense affluent. His folks allotted $50 weekly. The balance was secured. They claimed protection from indulgence. But Ricky felt defenseless. One evening, to escort a girl to cinema, he lacked funds, so he collected vacant bottles, redeemed for change, and secured seats thus. He later confessed it rendered him valueless. He shone on screen, but off, merely a youth tallying dimes. The chasm between self and perception widened. Even socials were regulated. Ricky was barred from campus events or informal gatherings. Ozzie demanded supervision, purity, security, scripting. So Ricky attended vetted assemblies, monitored, instructed on dialogue. No peril, but no liberty. He couldn't fumble initial courtships, couldn't murmur silly gags to pals, couldn't merely adolescent. He once stated he felt stellar yet impersonal. Those eras yielded no recollections, only promotion. Then early 1957 altered all. Ricky viewed Elvis Presley on Ed Sullivan and ignited inwardly. He ignored family branding. He yearned to vocalize. He implored Ozzie for aid. And on March 26, 1957, in a Tinseltown studio, Ricky cut I'm Walkin' in a Teenager's Romance. Both debuted April 24, but pre-retail, Ricky aired them on the Clan program. Audiences viewed and flocked to shops. The track surged. A Teenager's Romance peaked at 2. I'm Walkin' hit 17. Abruptly, Ricky transcended TV quietude. He became adolescent sensation. Verve Records didn't endure. They quarreled with Ozzie on shares and oversight. So by mid-1957, Ricky inked with Imperial Records. That pact transformed. For a youth to gain artistic reign was rare, but Ricky selected tracks, endorsed artwork, picked players. The debut single, Bebop Baby, launched October 7th. It moved 750,000 pre-release. Ultimately over 1 million. It ascended to 3 on Billboard and 5 on R&B. It was refined, sleek, unlike the feral vibe of Jerry Lee Lewis or Little Richard. Ricky avoided yells, avoided gyrations, but sold. Imperial coupled the single with "Have I Told You Lately That I Love You," wagering on rock and tenderness. The bet succeeded. Billboard placed Bebop Baby 42nd yearly. His initial LP, titled Ricky, ensued swiftly. It blended renditions like Blueberry Hill and Boppin' the Blues with his successes. The record topped charts. It lingered top 10 months. Ricky outgrew TV offspring. He embodied teen rock. The TV music fusion proved brilliant. Ozzie integrated tunes into episodes. One segment faked a studio taping of Stood Up pre-launch. That tactic spiked demand. When the track officially released December 30th, 1957, it claimed 2 on Billboard. It charted R&B and country too. Unprecedented crossover. Ricky's scope wasn't merely broad, it penetrated. In summer 1958, a novel element reshaped US music eternally. Billboard unveiled the Hot 100, and soon, one track ascended swiftly. Poor Little Fool by Ricky Nelson leaped from 18 to 1 by August 4th. It dominated 2 weeks, topping Hot 100 and pop sales. Unmatched feat. Nelson wasn't solely auditory, he was visual. He adorned youth quarters nationwide. By year's close, over 2 million units shifted. Cinema operators screening his Clan show summoned law enforcement for crowd management. Correspondents flooded his workspace by thousands. Some females penned daily. He transcended pop. He pioneered America's teen idol. Weeks later, August 29, 1958, Ricky unveiled Gentler Fare. Lonesome Town was mellow, melancholic, diverging from expected teen frenzy, yet it resonated powerfully. It hit 7 on Hot 100 and R&B charts, rare for Caucasian performers then. It featured Jordanaires, Elvis's backups. Folks likened it to Love Me Tender, but it struck uniquely. Teens, particularly heartbroken, felt validated. Mail surged anew. The track didn't confine to vinyl and waves. It recurred on the adventures of Ozzie and Harriet with Ricky as self. Decades on, it revived in Pulp Fiction, captivating fresh audiences with its solitude echo. Then 1959, crammed with smashes leaving scant respite. Ricky Nelson issued 6 singles, each top 40. Believe What You Say crested 4. Never Be Anyone Else But You 6. It's late 9. His tunes charted 55 weeks yearly. Elvis soldiered abroad. Ricky seized limelight. Gigs netted $5,000 nightly. His imprint hastened fresh releases near monthly. Fan groups detonated. Over 9,000 chapters globally for a lad under 20. His vibe oscillated upbeat rock to tender ballads. Not solely youth purchasing. Guardians too. He was tidy, secure, ubiquitous. Then madness ensued. June 1959, Nelson gigged New York. Over 10,000 females attended. Some queued hours. Post-set, masses surged, shrieking, shoving, charging. Authorities intervened. They extracted him on stage to vehicle. Girls hammered glass, scaled sides, pursued streets. Press dubbed it upheaval. Cities fretted. Rock events bolstered guards. Nelson's imprint curbed outings. Teen frenzy emerged as genuine hazard, not pop's final chaos. Same year, LP Ricky Sings Again hit 6, sold over million by close, Sweeter Than You 9. Album's distinction was accompanying persona. Ricky shunned shouts, avoided instrument destruction, wore crisp tops, grinned courteously, aired nationally before folks. That pristine vibe succeeded. Guardians trusted. Females idolized, imprints mimicked. Sought next secure idol, but none matched Ricky's subtle assurance, worn like epidermis. By 1961, he dropped Travelin' Man, Transcending. It claimed one May 29th, held 5 weeks. Over 6 million instant sales. Track originated discarded demo. Flip, Hello Mary Lou. 9 US, 2 UK LP Rick is 21 gold. Public insatiable. Athletics venues aired Travelin' Man. Not mere hit, global surge. Both faces charted concurrently multi-nation. Rare dual triumph. Prior year, he toured Europe. 20 locales, 50 performances, 100,000 attendees. Some evenings twice. Fans breached barriers. Nelson, still teen, fatigued. Appeared wan, drained, tempo grueling. His dad, Ozzie, scheduled to sustain drive. Aim evident, extract fame pre-fade, but toll evident on Ricky's countenance. In 1962, worsened. He issued 10 singles yearly, staggering for contemporary artists with tech. He fainted on stage Hawaii promo amid fans. Medics advised deceleration, but gigs persisted. Ozzie nixed cancellations. Fans observed. He appeared aloof, vocals altered, vigor waned, shift occurred. Though glare pursued, radiance dimmed. In 1963, Decca inked Ricky to colossal 20-year pact worth $1 million. Seemed savvy. Then Beatles invaded. Audio evolved, fashion shifted, crowds changed. Abruptly, Ricky Nelson's refined look aged. His single For You hit 1964, but enchantment fled. Decca nudged folk rock, then country rock. Nothing reignited. Pact once golden felt binding. Nelson sought evolution, but Globe advanced. He persisted. 1961, String Along 23. 1964, Rick Nelson in Concert Live LP unveiled Fresh Vibe. His ensemble progressed, recruited elite players. James Burton legendized. Group embraced harmonies, country rock layers. No longer teen pop, something novel. That novel influenced futures. Randy Meisner, later Eagles co-founder, joined Ricky's Stone Canyon Band early 1970s. Jackson Browne, Linda Ronstadt drew from similar roots. Dubbed California Sound, Ricky co-built. At mere 12, Ricky Nelson debuted cinema with Here Come the Ourettes. Nelson's 1952, not mere film, family venture. Filmed General Service Studios, extended the adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, offering America endearing peek into authentic Nelson abode. Modest funds, basic suburban tale, tapped post-war ideals, swiftly family favorite. Ricky needed no theatrics for affection. Merely self, youngest Nelson sufficed for lasting recall. By 1958, pivot. On General Electric Theater, Ricky portrayed distressed youth in The Wish Book. Program serious-toned, Ricky revealed novel facet. Raw, heartfelt, beyond Guitar Kid, but True Leap 1959. At 18, snagged Colorado Ryan in Howard Hawks' Rio Bravo. Beside Titans John Wayne, Dean Martin, doubts abounded. Could Idol act serious Western? Hawks believed, correct. Ricky's earnest, vulnerable turn impressed. Film netted $4.5 million, critics respected. 1960, Golden Globe nod most promising male newcomer formalized. Ricky Nelson transcended pop. Rising thespian. Next year, co-led with Jack Lemmon in The Wackiest Ship in the Army as Ennis Otter's Tommy Reed. Odd Habostur comedy from Real USS Echo, Hawaii shot, December 1960 release. Netted over $3 million, boosted Ricky. Charm effective on-screen, though critics noted greenness versus music. He disregarded. For youth, he drew. Followed Love and Kisses 1965, helmed by dad Ozzie Nelson with real spouse Kristen. Film blended tunes and drama. Ricky touted on Shindig with fresh songs, but flopped. Charming, yet unimpactful. Still, Tinseltown decided. Ricky too pure for shadows. Studios favored neat, naive, harmless. He secured 5 non-music roles. Edgier bids rejected. Insufficient grit, danger, and despite genuine acts, industry pigeonholed as idle, blind beyond. As 1960s advanced anti-heroes, raw narratives, Ricky lingered edges. Never granted deserved drama. By 1970s, cinema faded. TV films like 3 on a Date, 1978, as Hawaiian Escort. Then High School USA, 1983, Principal Pete Kinney. Appeal endured, but drive vanished. Roles sustained visibility over resurgence. His tunes shifted. 1969, formed Stone Canyon Band. Not mere ensemble. Revolution. With Randy Meisner, Tom Brumley, Alan Kemp, Pat Shanahan, plunged country rock pre-mainstream. Live LP in concert at the Troubadour 1969, Bottled Magic. Bob Dylan cover She Belongs to Me hit 33, biggest years. Not retro, rebirth. Forged anew, Paving Eagles, Poco. Ahead, but fame fickle. October 15, 1971, Madison Square Garden Rock and Roll Spectacular. Ricky appeared bell-bottomed, purple velvet, long locks. Fresh sound. Opened country honk, country spin on Rolling Stone's Honky Tonk Women. Boos erupted. Crowd craved Poor Little Fool. 1950s Ricky. Shocked, one more tune, exited. Backlash lingered, but birthed Garden Party. 1972 single 6, message enduring. Can't satisfy all, so satisfy self. Despite peak, industry shifted. 1970 LP Rick Sings Nelson vanished post-Decca fold. 1981 Playing to Win via Capitol, but disco-dominated, forward sound overlooked. 2 LPs sunk by imprint flux, ill timing, Ricky. Pioneered, world deaf. TV fallback. Sang Garden Party on Merv Griffin 1972, Love Boat 1978. Spots visible, but music doors shut. Post-1972, no top 40 singles. Career nostalgic, sustained by repeats, reminiscences. Offstage turbulent. Wed Kristen Harmon, April 20th, 1963, post-pregnancy. 4 kids, Tracy, Gunnar, Matthew, Sam. Union strained. By 1975, touring burden, Kristen expenditures spiraled disorder. Mutual addiction claims, court drags. After near 2 decades, divorce 1982. Ricky lost custody, over $1 million fees, $4,000 monthly aid. Clan once ideal America, fragmented, then blow. February 1981, Georgian crew birthed Eric Jude Crew, alleging Ricky paternity. Met Playboy Resort. Test confirmed, but Ricky denied beyond $400 monthly. Post-death, Georgian sought Eric estate inclusion, but Ricky willed to 4 with Kristen. Eric excluded. Courts upheld. Biologically son, legacy erased. Final years, solace in Helen Blair. Met 1980, model, animal handler, swiftly rode life mate. Brought stability. Unwed, yet inseparable. Family disapproved. Marriage pondered, unexecuted. December 31st, 1985, Ricky, Helen boarded Texas plane. Heater faulty, unflagged. Mid-air blaze. Ricky, Helen, 5 perished. Pilot survived. World lost Ricky Nelson, 45. Ensued agony. Mom Harriet barred Helen burial beside. Unmentioned funeral. Helen kin sued $2 million wrongful death, dismissed post-minor settlement. Then estate saga. 2011-2020 suits unearthed $12.7 million concealed royalties in vintage capital Sony Pax. Revelation stunned intimates. While Ricky battled finances, legal's years, funds hid unseen.